And one final bonus thing. So we take the cupcakes back up. I mean, so we had all these cupcakes. Headless didn't want them. I didn't really want to bother with them. I would at most have one more in the morning. Then what the fuck am I going to do with 7 or 6 cupcakes? So we figured, if only there was a place that we had been at recently in which dispensing of cupcakes would be an exceptionally easy task. I'm sure you've put together what we did. We brought it back up, ran back into dark matter, um, offered him one first. Then, I just sort of yelled out, free cupcakes, and within moments they were completely taken. Um, and one of the uh, you'd have to get the direct story from Scuderia on this, but I believe somebody said they were going to give it to Sethisto, the guy who runs Equestria Daily. Quick side note on him. Um, he's an interesting fellow. I've read a bit about him. Uh, some not the most positive stuff in the world, uh, but he sure as shit seems to have a following at the BroNYCon things. I mean, I believe he got a chant more than once, and I don't really think he was on any panels. He was walking around in his Trixie hat. At one point, I said he was walking around like he owns the joint, and then it dawns on me he kind of does. So, Sethisto, interesting fellow. Interesting. Yeah, let's go with interesting. Um, so anyway, some guy comes over and asks, "Would it be okay if we took one of these cupcakes and gave it to Sethisto?" I think I think Scuderia might have mentioned Kefka or something, and said like something to the effect of, "You should link Ponycoons in the future." Which, if he did that, that's fucking hilarious. So yes, I'm sure Headless will be amused to find out that one of the cupcakes did go to Sethisto. And that was pretty much the cap off to what was an all around, what's the word that would accurately describe it? Memorable day. Um, of the crowd itself, I mean, the, the main archetype of a person there seemed to be maybe 20 or 21. But there was a pretty huge standard deviation from that. There were some kids, not a lot, but some. A few there with their parents, some teenagers, some older people. There was a woman there who seemed to, with a Brony shirt and all, who I'm guessing was in her 40s and just seemed legitimately enthusiastic. I don't think it was somebody's mother or something. Also, one thing that was sort of amusing was while we were through a large portion of the panels, we were behind a guy who was there with a Pinkie Pie hat on. I didn't really talk to him much, though. Um, at one point, I asked not him, but just I think to the person who was sitting next to me what Brony Palooza actually was because I wasn't sure at that point. And then he answered like, "I believe it's just like a dance party. I sure hope so." I'm like, "Huh." And later on, the psychology doctor was sitting next to him discussing what sounded like family issues. So yes, I believe I was. It was funny to get the introduction that my son was into this, and then I found at the end of the day that was his son all along, probably. Or he has a second family on the side. I'm not going to peer into or to the lives of personal lives of people. Blah, blah, blah. Jesus, 91 minutes. I don't want to forget anything. There's about There's probably a 20% chance that this recording will never see the light of day as I just turned this into a post, because I'm kind of not sure who the fuck would listen to all of this, except for Chunky. So, yeah, let me run through everything in my head once more. Yeah, I think that was it. If you had told me a year ago that I would be going to a My Little Pony convention, I wouldn't so much not believe you as like not have a frame of mind for not believing you because of the complete unlikelihood of this event. It would be, the equivalent of me finding a leprechaun, which brought me to a pot of gold. I mean, that would be my mindset. Um, this was certainly one of the odder things I've done in my recent lifetime. Um, I, there were things to vehemently dislike. I'm sure that the internet will capture all of them for everyone for eternity. Um, there were also things to like, frankly, but particularly the panels themselves. And the thing on the whole and the fandom on the whole, and I include the negative elements when I say this, is a really fascinating thing to observe. Again, it's not always a positive, fascinating thing to observe, but I believe I said to Dark Matter at the end of the night, like, it's hard to even identify what I just took part in. It wasn't quite the same as, like, say, an anime convention. I really don't think so. It's got the meme thing going. It's got the subculture. It's based on a show that, at least in my view, is actually legitimately very good and worthy of praise. And I do have 700 posts on the forum, even some mild obsession. But at the same time, it's weird that I could attend an event, as I said, with a person. It's 700 posts on a forum that's more or less exclusively dedicated to My Little Pony, and then come out feeling like a downright casual fan compared to the pure euphoria that people get out of this. Um, I can't explain it. I'm not sure if psychological studies can explain it. I'm not sure if it can be. Maybe there's nothing to explain. I'm not really sure. It's getting late, and I'm probably rambling at this point. But okay, I think I'm going to leave it off at that. Maybe I'll add something if I can remember what happened later. I'll just post about it or something. But okay, laptop that I've been talking to for an hour. This is Barton Fink from BroNYCon. I will probably end up posting this on Monday. See you later, guys.